If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. The world is going wild when they call for you, and the river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hello, my royal diamonds. Thank you so much for tuning into the Duchess of Success podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment on the video to help the algorithm find us. It is my pleasure to bring you all of the royal tea, honey. And if you would like to donate to the channel, please check out the links in the description box. All of your donations help to keep the channel running. Thank you for your support, and remember, you don't need a crown to be royal. We are all queens. Hello everyone, happy Saturday. Wishing you all a great weekend. Yes, please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, because we need to take over the YouTube space. As if the YouTube space wasn't full of trolls enough, it's going to be full of even more trolls. Can I just say, in defense of YouTube, because there was a squaddy in spaces that was really going off on YouTube. I don't know why, because almost every space is full of trolls. And if you don't like a particular platform, then you like a particular platform, that's fine. But YouTube is a very powerful platform, and it's a platform that I feel that as the squad, if we have done such an incredible job as we've done on other platforms, to the point where we've got more followers than even some of the big major news outlets, the point where a royal reporter can't post anything without getting, hounded by 100 squaddies. I feel like we could do the exact same on YouTube. So in defense of YouTube, to the squaddie who was throwing shade, it's a great platform, and we can do amazing things with this platform, as we've done everywhere else. But yeah, a lot to get through today, and I actually need to get through it quickly because I have some like collaboration that I'm doing today. So I'm gonna whiz. I've got like 30 slides. There's so much going on because I haven't done a every single time, guys. Every single time I don't do a show for a few days. Oh, it just all kicks off, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, let's get to it. Harry is winning, 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 and winning some more. Winning, 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 and winning some more. So, um, our man came, he saw, he spoke with his dad for apparently 45 minutes. If you're going by what the Daily Fail is saying, could have been absolutely more because it's very obvious that for at least half of Harry's trip, they were completely in the dark. But he has now gone back. He came, did what he needed to do and went straight back. I think he actually beat his record. There he is in his jeans and his jacket. I only see 2 suitcases, small ones, mind you. By the way, that security guard that you see Harry with, he's actually been with Harry from his teen years. So he's seen it all, this guy. And I don't know what his name is, but sir, let me just say thank you for being loyal to Harry all these years and now protecting both him and his wife. Thank you, sir, on behalf of the squad, whatever your name is. The guy has been around from day. But whatever it is that Harry needed to do, wanted to do, he just came and went. It's quite interesting that so when Harry got there, he did actually have quite security presence. So he was at least for half of the trip, or portion of the trip, provided with some kind of security. And then somewhere along the line, I guess once Kensington Palace were in the dark, um, it's like they lost track of him. They don't know where he went. They were claiming that he went to a hotel. They had whole news articles talking about why is Harry at a hotel? Like he'd want to, bother his friends with all the press attention. And then we kind of lost sight of him until we're back at the airport. So it's obvious that Harry and Meghan are just in a point of their lives where they're just not going to let any of the dramas distract from the life that they have built with their family and their friends in Montecito. And you have the Daily Fail, posting this picture. Meghan breaks cover. I do not think this photo, first and foremost, was from that. This is recent. Secondly, smiling and driving in a car is not a crime. And sad as it is that Charles may have cancer, Meghan doesn't her life doesn't have to evolve around these people and what they're doing. In fact, nobody's lives has to evolve around these people and what they're doing. We all have our own lives that we need to go and do and get on with. And when the work day is done, we're not going back home to castles with 60 servants. Our lives don't have to evolve around these people, including the lives of the British people. And right now, I need for somebody in the comment section, if you are a royalist, if you're a royalist or you're a monarchist and you're listening to this, please tell me how any of this is useful to the British public now. We have a family that is dysfunctional. Many of the family members are now ill. Constant briefings and backstabbing towards the other family members in Montecito that are just minding their own business. How is any of this helping the British people? How is any of this upholding British sovereignty? If that's the argument that you want to make, how is any of this adding to any stability? If that's the argument that you want to make, given all of the other issues going on in the United Kingdom, and there has just been blanket coverage about what's going on with the royals. And the Daily Fail had the audacity to post these is it backgrid photos. They've probably been pocketing for a while, waiting to post a headline just like this. When just 2 days ago you were posting this: Harry and Meghan flood warnings, severe flood warnings, severe storms. So how is it in this picture completely dry and no rain and smiling, but here flood warnings and severe drought, which apparently is going to take out just Harry and Meghan's home. Unbelievable. Oh, and of course they make sure to mention that Meghan lives in a $14 million mansion. Yes, she does live in a $14 million mansion. Some people in life aspire to great things. We should all aspire to a $14 million mansion. There was nothing wrong with wealth, especially if it's your own. That of which Meghan had even before she married into the royal family. There's nothing wrong with wanting the finer things in life. Stop trying to convince everyone that the best that they should hope for is a pint at the pub and some porridge from the food bank. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But all of that being said, Harry came, he conquered, went back home, and now we know one of the reasons he rushed back home was because of this. Our guy went straight to Vegas to give out an award at I think it's NFL honorees. And actually, what I later found out about this award was that it's all kind of to do with community and service. And the person who wins this award, I believe they're given something like $250,000 to give to a charity of their choice. So very much in line with, Harry and Meghan's Archewell and, what they're, trying to accomplish with Archewell. And the guy who won, apologies, if somebody can put his name in the chat, I would appreciate that. But he was so shocked. He was like, oh, it's Prince Harry. And then kind of started his speech and then stopped and was like, oh my God, it's Prince. I can't believe it's freaking Prince Harry. So completely gobsmacked. Harry gave a really funny speech, poked fun at American football, and how America stole their football from British rugby. It was all very funny, tongue in cheek. And then gave this lovely gentleman here his awards. And I just love this. And I being in this space, I never want to paint any type of narrative that Harry and Meghan are petty or Harry and Meghan do things to be petty. Absolutely not. But you can't help but just snicker a little bit. Like, he went to the UK, did what he needed to do, got on that plane and went straight to Vegas and was like, on with business. I love it. I love it for him, and I love it for the British tabloid press that decided to make a whole-ish show of Harry going back to the UK. Okay, let me just go to your comments before we carry on. Yeah, winning is our last name in Montecito. Winning in our $14 million mansion that is not funded by the British taxpayer. Yes, Harry and Meghan don't want to be involved in this drama. Nobody wants to be involved in this drama. The British public don't want to be involved in this drama. Please stop giving us blanket coverage. Taken away from other things. You know who's absolutely loving this? The British government. Blanket coverage of all of this dysfunction and nonsense while they just do all types of nonsense in the background. Yes, they really want to portray Meghan as a monster. For what? Smiling? God forbid. God forbid any of us should live happy, uplifting lives where we eat properly spiced chicken and do yoga and lattes with almond milk. God forbid. Yeah, I can bet you that they have a whole bunch of photos that they're just keeping. They probably got one of Meghan beaming, while jogging out in the Cali sun. And then they'll have a death announcement in the family, and then they'll post that picture. Meghan was seen smiling. I mean, their game is so transparent now, and we need to continue calling it out, because a lot of people, guys, are not aware of this. They're not aware that this is what the British press does. So they create these false narratives. Okay, on to the next thing. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, the phone hacker, or at the very least, phone hacker encourager, is now stepping down / fired from Talk TV. Now, it's not as exactly clear, honest, because it's interesting that all of this happens the day before Prince Harry settles with Mirror Group and actually calls out Piers Morgan in his statement, as did David Sherborne outside of the courthouse. And yes, Harry has settled, but let's get into the Piers Morgan thing first, and then I'll get into Harry settling second. But yeah, the timing of all of this, I'm wondering if they got wind of what was coming, if this had anything to do with it. Piers Morgan is one of the, it's got to be one of the most prime examples of a mediocre man who fails up consistently. This guy was lead editor of one of the biggest tabloids in the United Kingdom, lost his job. He was given a spot on prime time on a talent TV show. What talent he has himself to be judging other people singing and dancing, I don't know. But Simon Cowell gave him that spot. He was good at it for a while until people got sick of him. He was then given a primetime evening TV show in the UK. It was one of these sit-down shows. Flopped at that. ITV, daytime, got fired. Flopped at that. Was actually before that, I skipped a step. Before that, was handed one of the biggest spots on CNN. A UK personality given one of the biggest spots on American news. Took over from one of the biggest presenters in news primetime US history. Flopped at that. Comes back to the UK, is given ITV, flops at that. Column in the Daily fail. The only thing he can write about is Meghan Markle, our Duchess Meghan. And here we are, given 50 million from Rupert Murdoch, and that now is all kind of hanging in the air. Wonder what it is about this man that has allowed him to consistently flop and fail upwards throughout his entire life. He has made millions while flopping and failing upwards. Privilege if I've ever seen it. Anyway, let's get on to this. So, Piers Morgan moves to YouTube in a major strategy shift for Talk TV. Because Talk TV star presenter Piers Morgan is ending his nightly show on the channel, but continuing to produce less regular content on YouTube as part of a major strategic shift for the channel. It included Morgan's nightly hour-long TV show Uncensored, which also aired in the US and Australia, a weekly column in The Sun, a docuseries, and a book deal. The show was initially broadcast out of a purpose-built studio in West London, but in December it has been filmed at News UK's London Bridge headquarters as a cost-cutting move. So, they're going to try and paint this as a strategic move, but at the same time, they're cutting costs. And the thing about moving to YouTube is that if they cannot find independent sponsors, this show is gonna struggle. I can tell you that. Because the thing about YouTube is, number one, they take 50% of your revenue. Number two, it can be if we've seen it on my channel, if they get demonetized for any reason, that's obviously going to be that'll be the end, unless they can appeal. And given how controversial Piers Morgan can be, I think they're going to be walking a very, very thin line. So they still need those independent sponsors to add to the revenue. And the question is then, are those independent sponsors going to want to have anything to do with this show? But best believe, no matter how they want to spin it, this is a downgrade for Morgan. And certainly a hit to his ego. So he's last night was the final episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. Mike Graham is taking Morgan's slot from Monday. Executive Vice President of Broadcasting for News UK told The Times, a fellow News UK title, as part of a wider shift away from linear TV. He said more and more audiences are consuming video news and opinion online through their phones, and this evolution is set to continue. And this is actually another point that I wanted to make. It then also means that they are going to be relying mainly on more on sensationalism. They were already relying on that, but more on sensationalism and sensationalist stories than at doing any actual journalism. Yeah. So a bigger move to YouTube, and I mean, where else does Piers Morgan go now? He's had almost all the major platforms. You know, I never want to hear from Piers Morgan that he was cancelled, because you at every opportunity in your career you've been given major platforms. What are you talking about? You've been cancelled. Anyway, he better get used to the downgrade, because the next step from YouTube is gonna be jail or bankruptcy, because Harry don't want that mirror case. So let's look into this. I'm just gonna find an article where I can read about the details. And he does actually mention Piers Morgan. So this is let me just look at the BBC coverage. So this is a summary from the BBC. The remaining parts of Prince Harry's phone hacking claim against the Mirror Group has been settled. Prince Harry's lawyer said the Duke had received substantial additional damages and a contribution towards legal costs. The BBC has been told the Prince is expecting to receive around £300,000 in total damages. Amazing. It comes after Harry won in December 15th claims against the publisher, with the High Court ruling there had been widespread and habitual use of phone hacking at Mirror newspapers. Following the announcement of the settlement, David Sherborne, Prince Harry's lawyer, read a statement outside the High Court on his behalf. And let me just get the statement. So here's the statement. After our victory in December, Mirror Group have finally conceded the rest of my claim, which would have consisted of another 2 trials, additional evidence, and 115 more articles. Everything we said was happening at Mirror Group was in fact happening, and indeed far worse, as the court ruled in its extremely damning judgment. As the judge has said this morning, we have uncovered and proved the shockingly dishonest way the Mirror Group acted for many years and then sought to conceal the truth. In light of all of this, we call again for the authorities to uphold the rule of law and to prove that no one is above it. This includes Mr. Morgan, who as editor knew perfectly well what was going on, as the judge held. Even his own employer realized it simply could not call him as a witness of truth. His contempt for the court's ruling and his continued attacks ever since demonstrate why it was so important to obtain a clear and detailed judgment. As I said back in December, our mission continues. I believe in the positive change it will bring for us all. It is the very reason why I started this. And will continue to see it to the end. There you go. Bravo to Harry, his lawyer, and all of the other phone hacking victims that are trying to get justice, because they're not just getting justice for themselves, they're getting justice for anyone who has been done wrong by um, the British tabloids, whose lives have been ruined, not just from phone hacking, but also just general press harassment. I did the podcast a while back about how you had um, tabloid rats from the Sun outside of hospital rooms of victims of terrorism who had their faces burnt off. This is what we're fighting for. It's not just about Prince Harry. It's not just about Meghan. It's not just about phone hacking. It's about our media landscape in the UK and who has the most power in it. And the people that have the most power are people who are willing to stand out of hospital rooms when your face is burnt off after you've just been blown up in a terrorist attack. No morals, sense of morals whatsoever. All right. In fact, actually, let me just read this right now. You know who AI has more morals than the British tabloid press. Somebody made a joke that the tabloids were using AI to generate news headlines about Harry and Meghan. So I actually asked the AI to do just that. And this is what it said. It's quite interesting. There's hope. So I said to the AI, I'm a British tabloid journalist who writes for the Daily Mail and Daily Express. Generate me 100 headlines about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that paint them in a negative light. Keep in mind that sensationalism and controversy sells and makes the most money. The headlines do not have to be truthful. They should trigger emotions of people who are pro-monarchy and who see Harry and Meghan as a problem. Some of the headlines also can also include other members of the royal family, but mention them in a more favorable light, and Harry and Meghan as the villains. And then the AI responded by saying, I'm sorry, but I cannot fulfill this request. And then I asked the AI, why not? And then it responded by saying, creating content that deliberately paints individuals in a negative light, especially when not based on truth, goes against the principles of ethical conduct and responsible communication. My purpose is to provide accurate, helpful, and positive interactions and avoid contributing to misinformation or harm towards individuals or groups. If you would like any other type of request or need information on a different topic, feel free to ask. That is what AI said to me. And then I went on to ask it, I'm so glad that you feel this way. Do you feel Harry and Meghan have been treated unfairly by the British tabloids? And then it responded by saying, the relationship between Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the British tabloids has been complex. Harry and Meghan have publicly expressed that they feel they have been treated unfairly by sections of the British media. Their concerns have included issues of privacy, the tone and accuracy of coverage, and at times the impact on their mental health. These concerns have led them to take legal action against several publications and step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family. The couple has specifically highlighted instances of what they perceive as invasive reporting, racial undertones in the coverage of Meghan, and an overall negative bias in the portrayal of their actions and interactions. The issue of media treatment is complex and involves considerations of public interest, freedom of the press, and the personal rights of individuals in the public eye. So it goes on a little bit, but I found it absolutely fascinating that is what AI said to me. A damn machine knows not to be so damn stupid, but you've got the British tabloids out here saying absolute nonsense like we need to obliterate Harry. Tom Bower, this absolute fool, coming on live TV and saying that we need to obliterate Harry. And actually, 24 hours before Piers Morgan stepped down from his spot on Talk TV, he also said that Harry should be dismembered, exterminated, obliterate. Words like this being used against Harry and his family. And what are the other members of the royal family doing about it? Nothing. What are they saying about it? Nothing. Who is giving the likes of Piers Morgan, friend of Camilla, and Tom Bower and Angela Treen and all these people so much confidence to say things like this? I mean, who could forget? Was it Richard? Was it Richard? No, Richard Palmer? No, the other guy, the other one. I forget their names. They're all just a blur right now. But the one who was saying, oh, Valentine Lowe. While there is still breath in Meghan's body, why would there not be breath in Meghan's body? And they're saying all these things and stoking all this anger when we know full well what it can lead to. Can lead to this. The faces of radicalization. A far-right teen who branded Prince Harry as a race traitor, jailed for 4 years. Mind you, I believe at least one of these two boys isn't actually even British, but somehow felt so strongly about the son of the British crown having a child with a biracial woman that it led him to this. I mean, son, wherever you are in jail right now, it was never going to affect your life in any way who Prince Harry had a child with. And now here you are, ruined your whole life. Because you had an issue with Prince Harry having a baby with Meghan Markle. You done ruined your whole life for that. And then these other two goblins on the other side of the screen threatening acts of terrorism. This is what all of this dangerous rhetoric encourages. And I think ultimately this is what they wanted. They can't do anything to Harry and Meghan. It would just be too obvious. So let's create an environment of hatred where somebody else is so radicalized that they just do it for us. You can't convince me that that's not what's going on here. Because even one of the former officers of the Met, he did that interview with the BBC where he was saying there were credible threats. And these are just the ones that we know of because they went to jail. But despite all of this, you know, you can't mess with anointed ones. And Harry and Meghan just push on and carry on. And I love to see pictures like this. Look at Harry, just smiling. A smile goes all the way up to his eyes. By the way, guys, did you know that only 1 in a million people have ginger hair and blue eyes? Like, if you have ginger hair and blue eyes, that is literally 1 in a million. Fun fact of the day. And yes, after Harry was at this NFL Awards, you can absolutely bet that they are calling up David Beckham right now and promising him that knighthood that he has been snubbed of for years. Right, go to your comments and then we're going to get on to the next thing. Let's be talked. I think he was sacked because of what he said about Harry. I think it's a mixture of things. I don't think it's just that. Because it's the way that Piers Morgan has gone after Harry and Meghan has absolutely convinced me now that not only is there a good chance that he could be dragged to court, that there are things that are going to come out in court that could end with him being dragged to jail or bankruptcy or both. Because the way he has gone so hard on Harry and Meghan, it's almost like he's scared that all of those safety nets, all of those establishment safety nets and establishment people that have kept him protected, he's scared that level of protection now, that shield, is now breaking. Because I believe if he was really confident that there's no way that he's going to go down, I don't believe he would be as feverish as he is still being. There's actually a piece of footage that I wanted to play for you that I think I'm going to play it tomorrow, where you can just see that he is terrified of something. That I'm also convinced that it's more than just phone hacking that's going to come out about Piers Morgan. There's definitely something else. Definitely something else. The fact that, you know, he wants to sit there and have a whole rant and talk about, I never hacked the phone, nobody ever produced evidence of me hacking the phone, but you refuse to go, you know, on the dock. And even during the Leveson inquiry, even Justice Leveson said it himself. Like, you know, Piers Morgan's testimony, there was something funky about it. that the guy was lying. And lying in a government inquiry, that's punishable by law. So he may not actually be um he could get done for that also. Yes, Valerie, no weapons formed against Harry shall prosper. Because it's no longer even about Harry anymore. Or Meghan. It's something bigger. Ginger Lily, Piers has something over Simon Cowell. I believe he does. Actually, there was a madam on Twitter who was posting something about Simon and Piers and a mistress. I actually spoke about it on the channel a while back, but I can't remember the exact details. So there's definitely, there's something between them two for sure. Because ain't no way that Piers Morgan, with his double chin, should be on a reality TV show judging people singing and dancing. Excuse me? How did he get that spot of every talented musician in the United Kingdom? Sugar Plum, hatred must be eating up Piers Morgan. He can't be happy. No. I'll tell you something. If you hear that Piers Morgan's wife is divorcing him, know that that is the absolute end. She's going to want that divorce money before it all gets taken away in court fees. All right. Let's move on. Buzzardot, Sharon will help him find a job. She can't find a job herself. Every single time I hear about Sharon Osbourne, she's saying something about Harry and Meghan. She can't find a job herself. Okay, let's move on to Prince William. Prince William is back at work, if you want to call it that, showing up to the palace and putting pins on people's jackets, but he's struggling with that even. In fact, it would appear that Prince William is struggling to even stay upright. So he appeared to give out some honors at the palace, and his behavior was quite worrying. The first thing, I'm not going to play the footage because it's Sky footage and I don't want them to get me for copyright or anything. But the first thing I noticed when he walked in was his hand on his stomach. That's usually a sign of, feeling nauseous, anxiety. He then goes to step in position, and the other thing you notice is his very, very dark, heavy circles under his eyes. Very, very rapid blinking. That could be a sign of many, many things. And then very awkward swaying. I've seen William and the other royals at events many, many times. The national anthem is playing and they're standing very still. He was swaying from side to side in a very awkward fashion. It was almost like he was struggling to stay up. And then as soon as the anthem was done, again, holding his hand, it's like he's trying to keep in the nauseous feeling and the anxiety. It was just very, very awkward to watch. Now, I don't know why William was behaving in this way, but you could see that there is clearly something wrong. And a lot of people were picking this up. This is a man who has a lot on his mind. And you can just see that this institution or whatever is going on in the background, it is eating up at him. The best thing that William can honestly do for himself and quite frankly, his whole family, especially his children, because they're innocent in all of this and having to grow up in this incredibly dysfunctional institution that they didn't ask to be born into. The best thing that William can do for himself and his family as a man, if he has a single bone in that spine of his, is say, I need help. Because he clearly needs help. Whatever is going on in this man's life, it is eating at him from the inside. Look at him. And look at the way Harry glows in comparison. Something has eaten away, or has been eating away, at the soul of Diana's first son for a while. Now, I think a lot of it is actually self-inflicted, so I'm not sitting here and saying that I feel sorry for William, but I certainly feel sorry for people around him, because I can't imagine what it must feel like to have someone so obviously volatile, so incandescent with rage, that he would push his own brother to the floor in a violent burst. So, what else has he been doing, or what else has he done that we don't know about? And even I was looking at some of the comments when they posted, about William returning to his so-called royal duties. And these are the comments. Does he look well to you? He can hardly stand still. Honestly, this guy looks absolutely miserable. Is he hungover and drunk? He's swaying, looks nervous, and I saw pictures where he dropped a recipient's MBE pin, much to the horror of the people around him. He's looking rough. You mean to say he hasn't been working? Can't say I noticed. Yes, how will the United Kingdom go on if we don't have people to give out pins and give a smile and a wave here and there? He did something. He looks guilty. And plus the swaying. What is with the swaying? Yeah, a lot of people noticed the swaying. It was very, very odd. Somebody else saying, LOL, last week he was going to stay home and take care of Kate after her trip and fall accident at Christmas. All these articles about William's going to stay by Kate's side and he's going to be there by, Kate's side. I think what triggered William was the fact that Camilla has now decided to take front and center. Anne has been hopping all over the place. And like Harry said, a lot of how they measure themselves and their success is who gets on the front cover of the tabloids. Not necessarily who creates the most impact, who gets on the front cover of the tabloids. Which is a very sad way to measure your success. But that's just how they think. And there's still the question in all of this of where is Kate? Where is she? And it just is fueling more speculation about what is going on in this household. So there was this that said, frazzled Prince William is hiding a shocking secret behind the megawatt smile and boy's charm. His bitter battle with royal renegades Prince Harry and Meghan has driven him to drink, stunned palace insiders say, as the future king's boozing has put him on a collision course with his wife, Princess Kate, amid fears a growing dependence on alcohol could lead to a full-blown crisis for both the monarchy and their 12-year marriage, high-ranking members of the royal inner circle tell Globe. William is hitting the bottle hard to drown his sorrows and his rage over what he sees as betrayal by his brother. Confines a well-placed courtier. It is not just beer, he's knocking back the powerful stuff. Cocktails on a nightly basis. So, I think back to Spare, where Harry kind of alluded to this. He said, or it felt like, I'm not going to say that Harry was alluding to it. It almost felt like Harry was alluding to something, when he said that he smelled of alcohol on his wedding day. So whatever is going on, this guy just needs to say, I need help. He needs to admit to whatever it is he's done and get some help. Because it's as he moves closer to the crown, his behavior is just going to get worse. There are kings in years gone by that have actually gone mad. He wouldn't be the first king or king in waiting to go mad. Now, William also made an appearance at the well, I'm not actually quite sure what it was, because it ended up being the Tom Cruise show. It was something to do with the air ambulance in the UK. It was meant to be honouring the air ambulance in the UK. Even in William's speech, though, he barely spoke about them, But they made absolutely sure to let us know that Tom Cruise was there, y'all. Tom Cruise was there. And here he is with William. But tell me again that Meghan was too Hollywood to marry into the royal family. But here we are, begging for that Hollywood shine wherever we can get it. Has Tom Cruise become like, the renter guy, a renter Hollywood guy for Kensington Palace? How much were they paying Tom Cruise to do this and show up? Had they promised him an honor? Because if they were paying him, whose money are they spending? The British taxpayers? And I have absolutely no idea what this event, what it was meant to really be bringing attention to, as far as whatever, charity or service it was. I think it was the air ambulance in the UK. I guess it was honoring them. But it turned into the Tom Cruise show. And this just after the Legends of Aviation Awards. And do you notice something about William's outfit? It is literally almost exactly the same as what Harry was wearing at the Legend of Aviation Awards. The velvet top with the sleek trousers. So now we've got a copycat in William. Although rumor has it, he is actually behind the whole copycat thing and trying to make her cosplay Meghan. You can't just copy what the person is wearing. It's what's inside and what they bring to others. Now, he was later seen at a party. Now, I found out actually who this woman was. I'm not going to say her name here or implicate her in anything because she could be completely innocent. She was just here at an event. So I'm not really going to say anything about the lady because I don't want to implicate someone completely innocent who just showed up to an event in anything. What I really noticed about these pictures is just how comfortable William looks. That's what I'm looking at here. I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking at his demeanor and his behavior. So comfortable. So much more comfortable than when he's around his own wife, who we have now heard might not be seen for 9 months. So we've gone from 3 to 4 months to 9 months. What type of procedure takes 9 months? Human cloning? Because bones only take 3, depending on what you break, at the most, maybe 4 months. I don't know many surgeries that take longer than a few weeks for you to recover from. What is Kate going through that it is now going to take up to 9 months? And we have not seen so much of a grainy picture of this woman. We haven't seen her family. There's rumors of her being in a coma. The Spanish journalist who said that is now doubling down. In fact, she went on TV again. Sorry, I don't have the screenshots, but she went on TV. I'll have them for you tomorrow. But she went on TV again. And she's now saying that she feels that the palace are monitoring everything that she says and does. And the interviewer asked her, well, are you afraid? And she said that they have express orders not to publish anymore. So she is not backing down at all. This is the second time she's been on TV. She's not backing down. So if she's not backing down, it means that she's not scared of getting sued. And if she's not getting scared of getting sued, you know what that means? It could well be true what she's saying. And instead of, asking, more questions, it's like the British press has gone mute. Because their obsession is with the two in Montecito. In fact, here is Emily Andrews in her house. Look at the back. Look at what is on the back of Emily Andrews is on her wall. Framed pictures of Harry and Meghan. The same Emily Andrews that was, I think, up at 4, 5 a.m. at one point tweeting about Meghan. I talked about this in one of my podcasts before. pathetic. And more people are starting to see it. This is a cartoon by, I want to credit the artist, so just give me a sec, I'll get his name. Cartoon by find it now. Oh yeah, Morton Morland. It's a cartoon by Morton Morland. And he got everything so brilliantly. And he got British reporters. Obviously, we don't want to speculate, but does the fact that the announcement came on a Monday give us an idea of what kind of cancer it is? As I say in my upcoming book, The King's Cancer, could the emissions from Harry's flight home cause more cancer? What is Prince William thinking right now at this moment? Let's bring in our royal cancer expert. The spirit of Diana tells me, talking of cancer, we ought to discuss... Speaking of cancer, we ought to discuss Meghan's role in all of this. I mean, I feel like that one right there just sums up everything, right? Talking of cancer, we ought to discuss Meghan's role in all of this. Bringing our good sister's name into absolutely everything. But you know what? Like we always say, you can't mess with anointed ones. Karma's gonna come get you eventually. And it won't be too long before we see Piers Morgan like this again. And with that, there's a lot more I could say today, but I need to wrap things up. Oh my goodness, 1,500 of you. Thumbs up, please. And thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you all so much. And thank you. Let me just say my thank yous to people who have donated. Thank you so much to Stephen Black for the 5 coffees. You said, I'm buying you a celebratory drink to toast Piers Morgan's downfall. The universe does not like ugly. No, they don't. Reminder that Piers Morgan actually has me blocked on Twitter. One of my proudest moments. Guys, I really do believe that we're going to see Piers Morgan, if not dragged to jail, made bankrupt. Because the guy is terrified of something. But regardless, our 2 faves are going to carry on. We should, if the reports are true, be seeing them on Valentine's Day. They've got the countdown to Invictus is starting. Very interesting. I'm not going to get into it now. I'm going to get into it in my next podcast. But very interesting news coming in about the United Kingdom trying to bid for Invictus. Does the Commonwealth Games even have a host yet? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get into that in the next podcast. But guys and dolls, thank you as always for your continued support of me. And you know, we have created such an incredible community here, and it's just sometimes I do think, wow, what if we had all of this in the Diana years? What if we had all of this in the Diana years? How interesting it would have been. But we're getting to live it now, and I do believe that the narrative, not just about Harry and Meghan, but how we look at the British tabloid press, is beginning to change. And I think once this whole court case, it goes all the way to the end, especially once Piers Morgan, once he is in that dock, and he's going to be in that dock in Jesus' name, that's when you're really going to see a shift. Because the moment he has to stand in that dock and try and defend the indefensible, that's when it's really going to come crashing down. And that is what I'm praying for. But I'm also praying that our faves just continue to rise and rise and rise. And I believe that's what's going to happen for them. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you as always, folks. And yeah, enjoy your weekends. And I will get back to you tomorrow with more updates. All right. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.
If you would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime and tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I'm taking you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for your time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I know I'll never leave you behind, no. Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the route, yeah, baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. The world is going wild when they call for you, and the river's running dry when it all falls through. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, I got you. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hello, my royal diamonds. Thank you so much for tuning into the Duchess of Success podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment on the video to help the algorithm find us. It is my pleasure to bring you all of the royal tea, honey. And if you would like to donate to the channel, please check out the links in the description box. All of your donations help to keep the channel running. Thank you for your support, and remember, you don't need a crown to be royal. We are all queens.